The earliest memory of my mother is her singing Yiddish songs. And that left a very deep impression on me. I even know the first song I ever heard her sing. My father also sang. When there were people in the house, one of the things they would do would be singing. So singing of songs was always a big part of our family life. I love to sing, so I have sung in the family gatherings, things of that nature. When I was a teenager, I suddenly decided I was going to copy out Yiddish songs into a notebook. And I would travel down on the subway to the 42nd Street Library and copy out songs from in the Yiddish. There's a Yiddish section of the 42nd Street Library, and I still have that notebook, which has approximately 80 songs with yellow pages that are crumbling. But in there are some songs that I have never found on any recording. In 1959, to be exact, I decided that I wanted to record the songs that I loved. And I got myself a decent reel-to-reel recorder, and with comments that I made at the beginning of each section of the songs, I then recorded about 2 hours of Yiddish songs. I still have them. In fact, I brought some here for you to keep. There are about 2 hours worth of songs on those recordings. At about the same time, I started to nose around record stores to find old recordings. I'm not talking about 78s, but old LPs, and slowly started to collect them. I then decided I got to keep some sort of record of what I have in this collection. So on index cards, I would write out which songs I had, who was singing it, various information about each of the songs on the recordings. And little by little, this interest of collecting grew and grew. So after a while, we traveled to Europe on some trips. I picked up recordings in the Soviet Union. I picked up recordings in Italy, in France, in England. I then started, when they started coming out with tapes, I started buying tapes of recordings. And at some point along the way, I also bought my first computer. And it had something in there where I could set up a database. So I organized databases and got rid of my index cards and started to put information about the records into the computer, into these databases. So I have one database of recordings and one database of songs. I currently have close to 700 recordings of LPs, tapes, and CDs. I find that in the recordings, there are almost 2,300 different songs. And I have all of that information on these databases. And not only did I buy these, but I then made a duplicate of each of the recordings that I have on tape, so that when I drive in the car, I could play those tapes. So I have a double collection of these things. And I can't tell you why the interest is there. I just am turned on by Yiddish songs, and I love them.